Welcome back to Cloudy ML YouTube channel. Today we will talk about Generative AI Prompting Guide. Mastering zero shot, single shot, and few shot techniques for data analytics success. Part 2.
We will deep dive into each example in today's class. Apart from this, we have some key takeaways. But before that, let's start on each example. So I have some few data. So if you see that I have 4 to 5 data sets with me. Let me open the first data set. It's a kind of a sales data set. You have product, you have category, you have month. Okay. You have units sold and you have revenue. So my task is that I will give this data set to either of my model, either ChatGPT model, which is also a Gen AI model, or to a Google Gemini model. For the time being, let's use ChatGPT 5 because it's a very popular model. Okay. So what we'll do, we will import a file. Go on desktop. Okay. Go on files. And we will import this file. Okay. So if I see, we have imported the campaign data, right? Let's open the campaign data for a while. Campaign, we have channel, we have impressions, we have clicks, conversations, cost, and revenue. So it's basically a kind of a analytics data where you have different campaigns, the channel through which the customer came, the impressions made, the clicks made, the conversions done, the cost, and the revenue which is made by the company. Okay. So let me give this data to my GenAI model. And I'll simply write analyze or summarize this data. So if you see this, you can see all the data. If you see on analyzing, what you'll see, a Python scripts runs internally. The same Python script that you're going to write in the kind of a Colab notebook or a Jupyter notebook, the same runs internally on these GenAI models. And they come with some analysis. So if you see this is the key statistics that they came up with. I didn't provide a clear prompt. I simply said analyze or summarize the data. So they simply summarized my data, and they found basic structure: total campaign 6, channels used, email, social search, columns involved, key statistics which we generally derive from df.describe, right? Then we have performance ratios, conversion ratios, and different ratios with respect to the campaign market. What does CTR means? What does CPC means? Okay, channel level analytics, and everything has been done pretty much fine by my model. Now, at this case, you'll say, Tarang, why I will use this? Why I will use go while I'll go for single shot or few shot strategy, while my zero shot strategy is giving me perfect output. I'll showcase you that how does single shot or few shot strategy make much more sense. So now I'll write, you have to analyze the data, or I can write simple role. You are a data, you are the master of data analytics. Find, okay, analyze the whole data in the required format. All right, format. What's the format? Mention each step, like data, fetch, processing, EDA, okay, statistics, and insights and recommendations. At last, come up with final detailed report The tone should be professional and easy to understand for all the stakeholders. Now, this is a prompt that you have given. Let's see the response with respect to this prompt. It's a kind of a single shot prompt. Okay, it is thinking longer for a better answer. So when it says thinking longer, it means that yeah, it has thought something and now it is bringing you to the analysis. So now it has begin some analysis. It is going through some analysis part. Okay, let us see how the output comes after this prompt. It will take some time, as I told you. So can you see that it has given us pre-campaign performance metrics? It has given us pre-channel summary. It has given us ROI campaign. It has given us ROAS by channel. Now it is analyzing more. So you can see data fetch, source, column names, verified integrity, pre-processing part, build roll-ups, exploited data analysis, portfolio overview of all the 6 campaigns, channel mix. Okay. Then campaign standout, ROI, statistics. You can see all the graphs, all the plots. Then it says insights. It has given insights and recommendations, which are pretty much required for data analytics projects. Right? You can see optimization levels, measurement, final verdict report. Now understand what is the beauty of, or how is the beauty of this single shot prompt. Getting a point? You can enhance this prompt more by writing a few short prompt. How? By simply enclosing this all in a JSON. Now, if you enclose this all in a JSON, the output is well more structured. You can try it out. How to write a JSON? Just import, just write this in a kind of a uh, okay, simple curly braces. Now, if I take to you like this, okay, although you can refine a prompt on a much more basis where you can justify and give you some examples, you can give some examples, okay, but see the impact of the JSON that now I have taken this all text in the form of JSON and see the response. So you can see that now the response is much more structured by channel. If you see that here it was kind of cluttered, okay, here it is much more uh, structured format. You can see all those things in detail. Insights, recommendations. Okay. You can see recommendations part here. Okay. We have recommendations here as well. And here, you see recommendations here. They are much more clear to the end user. See how important it is. So I hope you got an idea. I'll give you attach some files with respect to different sales, student, sports, patient feedback, expenses. You can go through it and understand how does a prompt affect your final output. Does that make sense? Right? Then we go for best practices and key takeaways. Now, generative AI always bridges the gap between data and decision making. It is making analytics available to everyone while augmenting the human intelligence rather than replacing it. Understand, Gen AI is again not going to replace humans. It is just making the human work pretty much easier. So keep that in mind, right? Now, understand some guidelines, some implementation strategy. Always verify AI generated numbers and conclusion for accuracy. You can provide clean, well organized data for optimal results. Be clear and specific with your prompt. Very important part. If you're not clear with your prompt, you cannot expect a beautiful output, a legitimate output from your response part. So the output, the prompt should be pretty much clear. Very important part. Use follow-up questions when you don't understand anything. You can use follow-up condition. Why? Because this Gen AI model, like if I tell you This GNAI model works on chain of thoughts. Chain of thoughts, what does that mean? It means that it remembers your previous generated output. So if you ask simple question, campaign, right? If you write campaign, it will give you the list of all campaigns, campaign level. Okay. So analysis, see, campaign, again, it didn't understood what does campaign mean. So it gives you the whole analysis on the basis of campaign. So that is the problem with respect to zero shot prompt. If you're not clear with the prompt part, definitely the output will not be pretty much clear to you, or the objective is not clear to you. I hope that that makes sense to everyone, right? So follow-up questions is going to be pretty much important to refine and improve your results. What is your task now? You can go on Chat GPT, or you can go on Gemini, you can go on Claude, and you can upload the data that I have provided. You can ask question and experiment with different prompts. You can try with zero shot prompt, single shot prompt, and then using a JSON. Human intelligence focus on decision making while AI handles analysis. Your ultimate the decision is yours. You have to make the decision. AI does the simple analysis. You are like you know your business, right? So you have to take the ultimate decision. But you can take the help of AI for the simple analysis. In fact, I'll showcase you our example on Gemini, okay, which we have done. So if you see this, the data, okay, the sample data, the new update. This is the data that I have provided to Gemini. The new update is great, but the app crashes when I upload a photo. Sarah for New York N2. I love the new charting feature, so useful. Mike from CA. Please add a dark mode. My eye hurts at night. The app is okay. Otherwise, David from TX. This is a random text. This is a random text. Now, what do you expect? You expect some responses. You'll give this text to a generative AI model and you expect a response. Okay. Let's say zero shot again told you. It gives you some vague responses. Summarize these reviews. Okay, so you'll give some vague responses, a generic, unhelpful paragraph. Single shot, it's kind of a better. Why? Because it extracts the sentiment from this review. Okay, so correctly identify sentiment but misses other details. So in this case, in one single shot, you can get the sentiment, you can get the information, but it misses on some hidden information which is pretty much required for your analysis. So when you write a few short prompt which encapsulate the whole thing in JSON, plus you have the things as a kind of a clear examples. You define that you are an expert product analyst. When you define the role of that AI, when you define the role of that generative AI, like in this case, I define that you are a intelligent data analyst, right? When I define its role, it understood, yeah, now it has not to behave like a normal generic generative AI model. It has to behave like a master of data analytics. So that is how you differentiate between your different types of prompts. Let me showcase your live demo. So, given this customer review, this random text uh, to my GenAI model, and I asked that extract data with GenAI. So, if you see this, I'm using zero shot prompt. So, if you see the zero shot prompt, you can see that yeah, it's a random text, right? It's a random text. These reviews indicate while users generally appreciate the new update and specifically find the new charting feature very useful. There's a critical bug causing the app to crash when uploading photos. Additionally, there's a request for dark mode to improve usability. So it gives you a summarized report, but it's not very structured. If I go it on single shot and I click on extract data with Gemini, now again, okay, the Gemini API works internally and you see that very structured response, mixed, positive, negative. So you got the responses. The tone is clear to you. Although the responses are not very comprehensively structured, but you got the tone of your paragraph. Now, if you use few shot for JSON, let's see this. So you see a JSON output as well, where you see a sentiment, a bug report, the features request. Sentiment, bug report, and feature request. Why I'm getting this as output? Because I have defined a structured input. I've defined a structured input during a prompt input or few shot. So understand, and the responses of JSON are pretty much understandable by generative AI model. So makes much more sense. Now you can find insights on data and all those things you can do on the top of it. Similarly, you can pass and like You can try this with a different example, and we can see this with the Gemini model. Then comes the part of AI agent, which we can discuss in next class, because this is quite more, I would say, important. But let's cover this in next class. I hope you got an idea. I hope you got an idea what are the different ways how we can use GenAI model for different prompting tasks, and how it is helping me for our day-to-day use cases. So that's all from my side, folks. I hope you all have enjoyed today's session. Let's meet in the next session. Till then, have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.